Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Practical Reefer. My name is Mark. This is week 3 of my 20 gallon budget reef tank build, where every week I will show you step by step how to set up and maintain a reef tank for a whole year for just £500. This week I'm going to start cycling my live rock, so I've just put this into a spare container that I had. What I've also done is I put down a kilo of the coral sand, which I'll be using in the tank. That was more just to protect the container, which I'm going to use for other things later on. It's not specific to the build. Although watching a Dr. Tim's video in the last couple of weeks, he's quite keen for you to put in some sand when you are cycling stuff, because the nitrifiers and nitrifying bacteria that they supply do stick to surfaces, and well, they all do, but it's not a bad thing to have sand in there as well, so it kind of serves a double purpose. My intention was more to protect the bottom of the container because the live rock's a bit sharp, and it would mark this sort of material quite easily. So, but also it'll give me some cycled live sand which I can put into the tank. I'll put the other 9 kilos of sand in first, and then I'll put this kilo on top. So I'll have a layer of cycled sand on top when I do get the tank filled. I'm just going to throw in the water tonight. This is a spare cupboard in one of my spare rooms. A lot of these pipes in here have the hot water going through, so it's quite a warm cupboard anyway, but I'll put a little 50-watt heater in just to keep it up to the right temperature. One thing to try and do is, there's another Dr. Tim's video, I think it was Nano 2017. He talks about speeding up the cycling process, where I think you can go up to 28 degrees. The bacteria reproduce quicker at that temperature, and also drop the salinity. I'm not going to be doing that because I've collected natural seawater and it's the right salinity. So I'm not going to go to the expense of putting in RO water just to drop the salinity a bit. I've got 4 weeks before I plan to put this into the tank, and then the tank's going to cycle a bit longer than that anyway, so I'll be totally fine. Got a Wavemaker as well, just to give me the circulation, and just a basic thermometer just to keep me right. But we're going to throw in the water tonight, and then tomorrow I'll play around with putting in the Dr. Tim's and the right amount of ammonium chloride. So, but I'll get this started, I'll get this filled, and then I'll be on my way. So guys, that's everything in there now. The little power head's quite decent. It's got a nice little flow in it. It's certainly working for this size of tank. This will be good for directing flow in any particular place. If you've got any dead spots, that's really what I'm going to be using it for. There will be a decent bit of flow because I'm going to have 2 hang-on backs that are going to be sucking in water here and then overflowing in the tank. So there should be a reasonable sort of overall churn. But this will be good for pointing in any bits where there's a sort of dead spot. But this is looking okay. I'm quite happy with that. And I'll just let this run overnight. I'm going to probably put the lid on. I'm going to try and not let too much water evaporate, obviously, so I don't want the salinity rising up, but I think there's enough of a gap there. I'll let a little bit of oxygen in and it should be fine like that. So everyone, just getting started now. The first bit of the video there you saw was Thursday night, where I was filling the container with water and starting up the power head and the heater and things. So temperature, just set the heater to 26 degrees and my little glass thermometer is confirming that. And got a decent little bit of flow of the Wavemaker there. I've got my Dr. Tim's one and only, so I've got enough there to treat 30 US gallons, which is 114 litres. I was going to just dump the whole bottle in, but I'm also torn between using maybe some of it now and some of it later, so it's not focusing very well. So potentially just popping in maybe 2/3 of that there, so enough to treat about just shy of 80 litres, which, to be fair, it's a 90 litre tank, but there is only 40 litres in the container there. Obviously there's more live rock than what would be in an actual aquarium, and then it would leave me enough to treat about 40 litres, but it would be more just a little boost for when the tank's set up, and also allow me to drop a little bit into the hang-back filter. So there's a bit of this bacteria in the sponges, although they're more for mechanical. It'd be nice to have that bacteria in there as well, which I'm sure it'll find its way in there, but obviously it does normally cling to surfaces rather than go in the water column. And then also, if I do go to use one of the hang-on backs for a QT little quarantine setup, then it's cycled and stuff is ready, so I can grab a piece of rock, maybe one of the arches, and grab the one of the hang-on backs, and then I've got a nice little QT setup as well. Now I'm going to pop in. I'm going to put 2/3 of this in, so enough to treat just shy of 80 litres, 76 litres. Sorry for the focus there. And so I'll measure out 40 ml, which is 2/3 of the 60 there, and we'll get started. So there is my 40 mils of Dr. Tim's. I've kept 20 back just to pop in when I actually get the tank together. So here we go. You'll see there, it's definitely see the substrate that's on it. It's very, very fine, but kind of gives it almost a milky appearance. And the bacteria are on their way. Now I just need to feed them with some ammonium chloride. So guys, that's the Dr. Tim's one and only bacteria into the tank now, or the tub that I'm using. I now also have the ammonium chloride from Dr. Tim's. So it recommends there basically it's 1 drop per, or 4 drops per US gallon, so 1 drop per litre. It then does also go to say subtract 20% for substrate and decorations. However, I know that there's 40 litres of actual water in there, so I'll put in 40 drops to start feeding the bacteria, and then I'll start testing it, and I'll see how I go. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was nothing groundbreaking today, it was just showing you how I'm setting up my live rock to cycle in a spare container. It might be helpful for you if your tank's on back order, you're maybe waiting for a return pump or some parts, or maybe your room's been reorganised and you can't put the tank where it needs to sit straight away, or you've got a flat pack stand or something like that needs to be built up. So it's maybe something like that. It gives you an extra few weeks or a bit of a head start when you do get the tank in place and you're ready to go. I will be testing the ammonia and the nitrite as I go, and sort of based on the instructions, if that's quite low, then I'll be adding more drops of the ammonium chloride just to get more ammonia in there to feed the bacteria and keep the cycle going. For me, I will have it be going for a few weeks longer than most people, so I will need to maybe add ammonium chloride as I go, just to keep the bacteria fed a little bit. They will last for a while once your cycle's finished, so if you can't put a fish in, maybe if the cycle finishes on a Monday and you can't get to the pet shop till the weekend to buy your first fish, then it's not a big issue. But I'm probably going to be having it going for a few weeks, so I will add a little bit in there just to keep things ticking over. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Next week I'm going to be painting the back of my tank black, just to contrast with the corals under the lights, and to maybe hide some of the equipment that's either hanging over the back or hanging inside the tank, because a lot of that will be black as well, so it'll make it look a bit cleaner. Give me a little like and subscribe below guys, and I'll catch you next week.